My name is Greg, VK5ZGY, and I'm here to give you a talk about the Mount Gambier, I'll call it, Fox Box for 2025. The Southeast Radio Group annual convention holds an annual convention at Mount Gambier every June long weekend and has done for almost 50 years. At this year, 2025, the fox hunting part of the convention was 10 sniffer transmitters, foot event, and there was 18 road-based foxes to be found, or with combinations of 80 metre, 10 metre, 6 metre, 70 centimetre, 2 metre and 1296. So there's quite a combination for the hunters to find. Over the past few years, the hunters have been asking for a more consistent signal that they can hunt. In previous years, we had a fox in a car talking, various comments that they used to make, and the voice signal at random times. There was no set time. And one of the things that they used to do, which we all thought was quite good fun, was the fact that when the hunters got close, they'd stop talking to make it with no signal to make it hard for them. Unfortunately, what used to happen is all the other hunters would bunch up because they'd be sitting around waiting for the next lot. So I started thinking that maybe there's a better way. Maybe there should be an electronic device that does the job. And to my surprise, there wasn't a lot of information around regarding radios, time, power, type of signal, frequency of operation, and all those types of bits of information. So it was then I decided that I would do it what I call the Mount Gambier way. So this is how it went. The rules and what I decided. The original idea was to have a self-contained unit for each fox to interface with the radio that's being used and used by the fox, and it became very apparent that the design would prove difficult to have a unit that could adapt to all the combinations of the different radios that are available. So at that point in time, I decided that the Fox Box transmitters needed to be a standalone unit, have their own controller, their own radio, their own battery. But one of the things that had to be really simple and easy to build. So the standalone unit, I decided that it would have an on time of 30 seconds. It would have an off time of around 15 seconds. And it would have a generated signal, a voice, Morse ID, or a tone. It doesn't really matter what it is, but that also had to be simple. Now, a few years back, Andrew, VK5KT, built a standalone unit for an ARDF event that we hold, which is a Saturday afternoon event for the convention, which consists of 4 transmitters, all cycled on the same frequency, all cycled on for 30 seconds, one after the other, over a 2-minute period. And it's wonderful. It does a fantastic job. You can put it out in the field, leave it there. It's got a microprocessor, a controller, ident, everything's all built into it. All run by some beautiful software, which is probably available around the place. There's a few of these about. And it all went together. One of the biggest issues, and the picture of Andrew's controller is there, and you can have a bit of a look at that, consisting of all the bits and pieces that are needed, all in one box. Turns on by itself, turns off by itself. So it turns on at the start of the event and turns off at the finish of the event. So a wonderful bit of gear. The only problem that I have is my brain is analog. I don't do programming, I don't do software, I don't understand some of this Arduino and microprocessors. And one of the other little issues that I had was the fact that if I wanted to make a change, or there was a change in the program, or there was a hold up of any description, I couldn't make any changes without going to each individual Fox Box, as we call them now, and with a computer to change them. So basically where I went. So this design, I decided to be an analogue design, a simple, from my point of view, put together with a couple of jumper leads, programmer in the field. So the components consist of a 12 volt cyclic timer, a 12 volt to 5 volt power supply, and a little MP3 player, and just added on, if we wanted to turn it on and off automatically, a 12 volt timer that's a weekly timer that turns on and turns off when you'd like to set it. So at the moment we've got the picture of the 12 volt cyclic timer. You can have a look at that. That's a simple device. The 12 volt, 5 volt power supply, and the MP3 player, which when you apply power to it, it just loops and loops and loops. There's a few other extra components that are in there, and the interface board to the radio, which is a bit of a nuisance. Took me a little while to do it. And the 12 volt timer, which has got quite a few event times and day times and that sort of thing. The timer doesn't necessarily have to be added. It can be left out, but if you need to have a standalone unit that you hide in the bush and leave and go and hide another one and leave, you can set it to turn on any time you like and off at any time you like. So it looks after itself. So all these basic components are used to put it together as per the circuit diagram, which is there at the moment. So basically in the circuit diagram, it shows the 12 volt timer, I'll start again. It shows the 12 volt timer, which drives the PTT of the radio, the 5 volt power supply, which drives a little MP3 player with an SD card, and we'll get to that in a minute. A little monitor speaker to prove that the thing is working, and also what I call the interface board. I had a few issues with the PRM80, which is the radio that I decided to use, and thank you to a few donations, made it easy, that it has 8 volts on the output of the microphone when it's under transmit. Created a few problems there for the interface board. So that's how it goes. Now we've got a little circuit of the interface board. Allows you to interface it basically. There's no earth connection with any part of the circuitry. So basically the whole circuitry goes together that's completely different. So you can have a look at that. The Fox Box controller parts list. Now, a lot of this stuff is purchased from AliExpress, as you'll see by the parts list, which if you put it all together and you shop at the right time and you do what you hunt around for bargains like I do normally, you can put this controller together probably for less than $15, depending on how you put it together. The SD card, the idea of the SD card was the fact that on the SD card you can put anything you like. You can put voice, you can talk about the convention, you can put a more signal with a message on it, you can put some tones on it. It's quite interface, and if you want to change it during the day, you can have multiple cards and you can swap them around. So it can either ident the club call sign, the Fox Box call sign, or the fact that it's a convention. So the possibility of being able to change that in the field is extremely easy. So basically it's all put together in a small plastic box, as seen. And then what we did was we mounted it, well I mounted it in a Maggie 7.5 kilogram gravy mix tub. Very easy and very cheap. Used the PRM80 because the club had quite a few of those left over from a few other projects that they were doing, and I decided that that was the radio. The whole unit is put together in a little framework that is included with the batteries, 2 9 amp hour batteries, small ones. These can be found around the place from various people that change the batteries over. You might be able to pick up a few cheap. We get a few donated to us in the club. So then we put it in the tub, and finally the complete unit comes with a flower pot antenna, a wooden stake, and the Fox Box. And when the fox gets out in the field, he puts it in a position that he thinks is a little bit difficult for them to find, and switches it on at the appropriate time and leaves. So there's no vehicle there, there's nobody there at all. So basically that is the Fox Box from where I've built it. There will be quite a few of these made. We used 5 over the weekend of the last convention, and I'd like to think that I can stretch that out to about 10 at the moment. We're working on it. Just a few comments from me. Understand that this is quite easy and has been done and can be done with an Arduino and programming and software and all those sorts of things. But again, I say I live in an analog world. I want to be able to change it. I need a plan that if something goes wrong, I can change it. And it can be changed in the field with a couple of simple instructions, all in the box. And it's just a simple one. So the unit could be less than $20 with a donation of radio and batteries. And if it gets lost, and I use the word lost loosely, in the field, it's not a great loss to the club. So that's about it. Finally, I'd like to say thank you to all those that donated the PRM80s, those members in the club that helped with programming and all those sorts of things, and all the hunters that hopefully they enjoyed the Fox Box. I look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.